Hey guys, welcome back. It is Wednesday, October the 11th, and I am just now getting a chance to film a video. It's been about a week. Today, I just wanted to hop in here and have a little conversation with you guys about manifesting a specific person. Now, manifesting a specific person can be something that we feel is a challenge, and this is because we have a lot of resistance. Sometimes it's because we have been in a relationship with this person before. Sometimes it's a situation where you believe that it's not possible for you to be with that person. Sometimes it's just a situation where you're not sure what you want. So we need to talk about the things that we need to work on internally in order to manifest that particular desire. Now, I have manifested specific people in more than one way, quite a few times. So I do want to have a conversation with you about my experiences and what's worked in my situations. So let's get started. So first of all, when it comes to manifesting a specific person, our biggest hang up normally is what's going on in here. Now, what's going on in here is usually a resistance to it. Self-concept resistance. For example, you don't think that you're worthy of love deep down. I mean, you may say it, but you don't really believe it. You don't think you have relationships that last, or you don't think that you're good enough for that person. That person makes 6 figures and you work at Dairy Queen. It's just anything. That's just an example. So the first thing that we have to do when we're trying to manifest a specific person or even new love, you don't even have to know this person. The first thing that we want to do is change our concept when it comes to love. Now, our self-concept when it comes to love is so important because it is the foundation of who we are. How can we expect love to show up in our lives? Not just in a romantic partnership, but in any area of our life if we don't feel like we're lovable. So our first step is going to be finding what our triggers are. What is it that makes me think that I'm not worthy of this? Find that. Figure it out. Is there something from my childhood that makes me feel like no matter who I'm with, no matter how good they are, they're always going to abandon me? It took me probably, 2 years into a relationship to realize that I was dealing with some serious abandonment wounds, and I was not just in that relationship but in previous relationships, because I had decided there's something going on with me. There's something wrong with me in this relationship, and I have got to figure out what it is. Not just this relationship, but every relationship I've ever been in. And I needed to know. It was the point in time in my life where I was like, okay, I have to know what's going on with me. And I realized when I was a kid, my dad and my mom said, well, we need to talk to you guys tomorrow. I was 8 maybe. And there was 4 of us girls. We were all 2 years apart. I was the second one. So that means my oldest sister was 10 and I'm 8, 6, and 4. We need to talk to you guys tomorrow. Well, as a little kid, your imagination is going to be like, oh, I'm going to Disneyland. Like, I legitimately thought that we were going to Disney World. No. My mom and dad sat us down and told us that they were going to split up, that they were going to get a divorce, and that my dad no longer loved my mom. He told us that. What do you think that does to a child? And if you are somebody who's been through something like that, or have watched your parents go through some crazy things, sit back and think about it. Is this something that's affected you as a grown-up, as an older person? It's heartbreaking. When I found it, when I remembered that, I cried like it was the first time I heard it. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. Why I feel like love can't be trusted. So you have to figure out what your hangups are first. And then you have to change your story around it. So, and this is not something that usually happens immediately overnight. Not saying that it can't, because you can have and do anything. But it is a true process to change your old subconscious programming. So what I did is I started affirming. I am loved. I started doing inner child work, where I imagined my grown-up self getting my younger self, picking her up and promising her that I was going to be there for her, that I was not going to abandon her. And I apologized for everything that she had to go through. Also, a moment of tears, like tears just flowed and flowed. But I had to get to that point where I was dealing with that internally. The sooner you can deal with your issues surrounding love, the sooner you're going to be able to attract love into your life. So I would recommend that you find your hang-ups from your past, figure out what they are, figure out where you went wrong. And it could have been when you were a kid, because you could have always been this way. It could have been a traumatic relationship. I had a very traumatic marriage, twice to the same person. It could be that. But whatever it is, you have to work on those issues. And then you've got to start switching your beliefs to the opposite of what you used to believe. You got to find the beliefs, and then you've got to flip them into your new beliefs. That means starting to affirm the new story. So writing it down. I cannot tell you how much writing down your affirmations makes it stick. It really does, especially if you're somebody who has like a photographic memory. I'm one of those people. But when you write it down, it's like your brain has to send the signal to your hands, and then you got to put it out there, and then you can read it over and over again. So when I have an affirmation that I'm really serious about, I don't just do it like one time. I write it down many times. So I am loved. I am desired. I am worthy of love. And this is a new one, okay? This is so important. Florence Scovel Shinn had something that she said. It was, what God has done for others, He can do for me and more. And when I look around, I'm always comparing, was always comparing my romantic situations to romantic situations in the lives of others. Why is it that this person is able to sustain love and I can't? I needed an answer. And so I started to affirm the opposite. What this person has, I can also have. I am just as worthy of love as that person, as those people, as all these other people. They look completely different than me. They're from completely different parts of the world. They are older than me, or they are younger than me, and they have what I want. Why can't I have it? Well, the only reason I can't have it is because in my heart, I hadn't believed until I started doing this work. So my new affirmation then became, what God has done for others in love, He can do for me and more. Oh, that feels so good to say that. What God has done for others in love, He can do for me and more. That's so simple, just to affirm that, right? So simple to affirm that. So self-concept and changing your story is going to be the first thing. Now, let's say you have some resistance around your other person, your specific person, or love in general. You don't think that you're worthy, you don't think that you're good enough, and you don't want to focus on one one specific thing. If you get hung up on one person and you have a negative story around that one person, you're going to keep bringing up that same negative story. And there's a way to change the story. There is. If I'm honest with you, it's hard. That's a hard thing. Like you might be able to picture it, but every time you picture it, you're going to have these negative thoughts come up to you. It's hard. If somebody knows a way that you can fix that, you put it down in my comment section. My suggestion is, in the beginning, go general. Just go general. So keep these affirmations of, what you're deserving of, what you want to receive. If it's marriage, you put marriage on your vision board. You put your ring on your vision board. And I have all my vision boards on Pinterest, so it's right there in the palm of my hand. If I'm like, okay, I need to pick me up, I look at my vision board, right? Go ahead and put it on your vision board, or script for marriage in your scripting journal, in your manifestation journal. But you don't need to attach a name to it. Okay? Sometimes that just helps us get into the feeling of, I have it. I can picture myself with this beautiful ring on my finger. I can picture myself in the arms of a man who loves me, or a woman who loves me. I can picture myself in a family, but I don't have anybody attached to it. Sometimes it's going to help to go general. And what's crazy is when you start going general, you start seeing love around you, which makes you feel more worthy of love, right? If there is a pattern of behavior within your specific person that you keep reinforcing in your mind, this person is this way, they're this way, there's no way they're going to change, then you start affirming. Let's say you have somebody who doesn't communicate well. You're going to start affirming, I always receive clear, honest communication from my partner. Something like that. That's what you want. I am always prioritized by my partner. You don't have to have a name attached to it, okay? And these things will start to show up in your life. So first, self-concept. We work on that. And then when we are visualizing and when we are doing techniques, we're going to keep it general, okay? Now, if you do have a specific person and you've kept it general, you've done your self-concept work, which I'm telling you, that's number one, guys. But you want to now start affirming for the specific person, you still feel that resistance, or you're worried that resistance may come up. My suggestion to you is going to be, pick one or two things to either affirm and or visualize. So if you know that you want to marry your specific person, or if you know that you want to go on dates with your specific person, pick one or two scenes. Leave that scene there. Don't try to take yourself through the whole scenario of how you get there, how you got there, just that end scene, okay? You and your specific person at the altar. Your specific person proposing to you. Visualize it, and that's it. If there is something that you would like to hear your specific person say, for your affirmation, write that down. If you're not in contact with your specific person, you can just visualize them sending you a message saying, I love you so much. I miss you so much. All I can think about is you. Do you see how just that, will keep you from spiraling into a train of thought of everything else that the other person did to you? Because they may have ghosted you. They may have turned their back on you. But when you're picturing them just telling you that they love you, that's all you're focused on. You're not focused on everything else. So just pick those couple of things and leave it at that. You do not need to continuously bring up a story with your partner. People say, oh, change this old story, oh, change the old story. Don't get yourself into an entire story because you will spiral. If you try to tell yourself a story, trust me, I've tried this. I tried writing out like scripting in the past, like where my person feels this way about me, my person feels this way about me, they miss me so much. You know what? It just made me come out of my state of, I already was in the state of the wish fulfilled. And when I was like, oh, let me try this new thing where I write everything, no. That just made me feel worse to where I couldn't sleep at night. And I'm affirming that they can't sleep at night, but everybody is you pushed out. So if everybody is you pushed out and you are affirming these things about them that you don't want to be feeling, then you're bringing it on yourself. So going forward, we're going to leave it at, I love you. We're going to leave it at, I love you so much. I love having you in my life. There is absolutely no one like you in this world. If they're giving that out and that's what you're, if that's you pushed out, isn't that a wonderful thing? Isn't that a wonderful thing if they're telling you I love you and there is no one beside you, there is no one like you in this world? You could feel the same thing for them. That's not painful. That is a good feeling. So that's my suggestion, guys. If you want to manifest your specific person, the quickest way to drop the resistance is first your self-concept and figuring out what is tripping you up. Love yourself first. You cannot give somebody what you don't have. You must love yourself. If you can't love yourself, seriously, if you don't love who you are, if you're not telling yourself, I love this person, and everybody is you pushed out, how are you going to be in love with yourself? How are they going to be in love with you? So that's number one. Number two, if you need to, you go general, okay? Go general in your affirmations, go general in your visualizing, go general in all your techniques. It's about the love. It's not about the person at this point, okay? And then when you are ready, you can do this at the same time. You pick one or two things that you either want to hear them say or visualize a specific scene and keep it at that. You don't need to go through a whole life story with them. We are just going to live in the end. We're going to pick the path of least resistance, which is I love you, I want to be with you, or whatever it is that you want to hear that person say to you. Okay? And remember, what God has done for others in love, He can do for you and more. Keep telling yourself that. What God has done for others in love, He can do for me and more. Now, if this video was helpful, please like and subscribe and leave me your stories about manifesting specific people in the comments. Tell me if there is anything that you would like to hear about manifesting a specific person, any new ideas that you want me to put into video. I'll be happy to do that. I am new at this and I appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you for your likes, thank you for your subscription, and thank you for commenting. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.